can we live following the example of Jesus Christ when society tells us it's okay to do something that goes against our moral beliefs or values? We live in a world where social pressure is everywhere, and our society tells us that we need to view things a certain way and through a particular lens. And for us Christians, it's very difficult to be a Christian in a non-Christian world. Recently, I went on a service trip over fall break to the Bronx. Here there's a population of approximately 8,550,405 people, whereas roughly 60% of youth are arrested as young as 6 years old. Community Connections for Youth shares a startling fact that 74% of the youth coming back to their community from a residential placement said they had no support in their transition home. This means that these kids, when they came back into the community, were basically abandoned. No one was there for them. My team and I, when we were in the Bronx, spent many of the days preparing meals to go out and give to those in need. And much kind of like the weather we had today, it was rainy and cold. It wasn't very nice at all. And so on a Saturday, we had prepared meals, and then we went out into the streets of the Bronx, where we came across these two women who were standing underneath one of the buildings there. And so we went up to them and we asked them if they would like a meal. Of course they said yes. So we gave them the meal, and inside was a sandwich, fruit, a drink, and I had the opportunity to write little note cards for them and just draw little pictures on them. And one of the verses that we were able to write was Psalms 91:1, which says that under his wing you will find refuge. And I thought that this was very important to share, as far as no matter what situation you may be going through, God will always be there to carry you through it. And in something where the immediate needs are not met, that's encouraging to know. So immediately these ladies opened up their messages and started telling each other that they're beautiful, they're smart, and their faces lit up. And seeing that really helped me understand what it means to serve others. The following day, on their way back from serving at a homeless shelter, one of Priority One's leaders, which was the organization we were working with, Greg, shared about Abram and one of his encounters with God in Genesis 12. Here, God is talking to Abram and basically telling him that you have been blessed so that you may go on and bless others. My art professor, David Finch, quoted a Japanese proverb that states, once you label something, that's how you see it. That's really powerful, because when you look at something in one way, it's very hard to change how you view it. And with being homeless, impoverished, or incarcerated, there's a very negative connotation that goes along with this. The Daily Californian published an article in 2014 titled Attitudes Towards the Homeless Affect Us All. It's a pretty powerful title. And here, they stated a startling fact that 40% of Americans between the ages of 25 to 60 experience at least 1 year below the official poverty line, and 54% spend a year in or near poverty. If you think about it, guys, they're not that much older than us. And many times, we like to separate ourselves from them and who we are as Christians, and basically that goes against everything that Jesus set the example for us to do. And so as Christians, we need to change our lens, take off the one that society tells us to wear, and put on the one that God tells us to wear. What will this worldly lens give you? Can it give you true love, forgiveness, everlasting life? The answer is no. And I believe that since we were created in His image, we need to adapt this mindset and go out into the world being like Christ. The National Association of Hunger and Homelessness reports that currently there are 3.5 million people in the U.S. experiencing homelessness. Let that sink in. 3.5 million people. This stigma that is created is not one that we should be encouraging here. And although you may think, what does this ultimately have to do with me? It pretty much has everything to do with you. Take this scenario, for example. When was the last time that you personally did something to go help someone else? Doesn't matter what it is, just something little. It could have been just saying, hey, you look really nice today. Or, I loved how you gave that speech in class. Just something simple. And if you can't think of something, that's okay, because this is my challenge to you. I challenge you to take off the lens that the world says we should wear and put on the lens of God and go out and do something for someone else.